So good morning to you, Shweta ji.
Good morning, sir.
In this video, I would like to tell to my viewers that Shweta ji, my student, and we are going to discuss about idioms and the usability of idioms in our day-to-day life conversation. So without any further ado, we'll commence the class. So Shweta ji, can you enlighten my viewers what is the meaning of the idiom "a bone to pick with"?
Bone to pick with means you are not happy while someone is doing something and you get irritated or that's annoy you.
Hmm.
At that time, you can use these idioms like bone to pick with you.
Okay. And if I may ask you, when was the last time you had a bone to pick with someone?
Okay. Yeah. When I was reading, at that time, my younger brother just started to disturb me, and I especially don't like while reading any interruption and disturbance. At that time, I just said him that I have to bond to pick with you as you are right now disturbing my reading time.
Okay. And as we have discussed a lot of idioms, which one is your specifically your personal favorite that you have incorporated
My
in your life?
okay, I would like to go with once in a blue moon.
Hmm.
Yes.
Once in a blue moon. That means what?
Once in a blue moon means something you do very like not in a routine but very rarely.
Hmm. Rarely. Okay. So, in the context of what you are saying, what is something that you do once in a blue moon?
Okay, once I would like to say one thing. Like I eating for eating a junk food is for like once in a blue moon for me.
Okay. I consume junk food once in a blue moon.
That's nice. I consume junk food once in a blue moon.
Okay. Uh, what is something that you can do till the cows come home?
Oh my God. Yeah. My subject reading and like any book regarding on scientific approach or spirituality, when I come across with this stuff, I can read the, like cow still comes the home.
Okay. And I would like to again tell to my viewers that this is second time Sweta ji and I are having this podcast, and she's a
Yes.
student of psychology, and she has vast knowledge about psychology. So I would like to ask you, like, once you have enrolled for this course, how it has changed, the journey of your life.
Definitely, it's changed because earlier we were not aware about even our own self. If I tell you in my context that what changed in my life that by enrolling this course or start to reading psychology, it's make me more aware about my own self. Like we know sometimes we know everything, but when it comes to application and when it comes to understand to other people, we just lack in it sometimes. So these subjects help me to understand my own self. Like if I tell you in one word, like my self awareness is start to increasing, and I become more little empathetic than earlier. So it
Oh,
make me more empathetic, and yeah, sometimes we just listen to judge the people and we just give our opinion. We just like what we called in English, like we are just we want to throw ourselves on other people. But
oh,
when as I joined psychology, I realized that it's not like that. You just throw your stuff on other people, but you have to listen empathetically thoroughly. It's most important to listen someone.
all right, got it. Again, coming back to our topic, if I
Yes.
may ask you, what is something that drives you nuts?
Mm, drives me nuts. Okay. It's hard to recall, but let me think. Drives me nuts. Okay. It's again related to my study and reading time. Like if I'm engaged with my reading or writing,
Hmm.
and someone comes to me and just start to annoying me, it's like drives me nuts.
Okay, and at that time you had a bone to pick with that person.
Yeah, at that time I have to go and to pick with them.
And furthermore, if I may ask you, How do you try to elevate your skills when it comes to English language?
Mm, I would like nothing can happen like in one night. So if not, definitely the efforts needed, the practice, and most important thing that I would like to whatever we learn in class, it we are not like having a memory of like Swami Vivekanand ji. So we have to revise. Revision is the key. Whatever we learning in class, we have to revise our own self.
Okay.
And yeah, the nowadays is a time of digital era, so we can use a different platform like YouTube videos to watching, listening. So this is, I think, this thing will help to elevate more.
All right. Got it. And how often do you hit the books, be in context of psychology or be it in context of English?
Mostly, I have my own schedule to reading, so I fix some particular time for a day. At that time, I just go with my timing and like I pick up my book and reading and preparing.
Okay. And outside of your study materials, are you fond of reading any other kinds of books like self books or self-help books or novels?
Mm, I would like to go with spiritual books more than novel and of course something that related to research, scientific research, and that help me to understand concept more clearly. Those is my interest area to reading spiritual things, some fiction books.
Okay. All right. And what is something that is a piece of cake for you? And what is something that is not your cup of tea?
Okay, for piece of cake for me. Okay. To be with unknown people or to meet when I will meet a stranger, it's a piece of cake for me to build up a rapport. It's easy for me, so it's a piece of cake. And on the second hand or the opposite end, like a toe, when I come across or when I encounter with the toxic personalities, some then it's hard to be with them. So it's not cup of my tea to be with them or to start to communicate.
Okay. All right. And what are the new things that you have recently acquired in context of English language? Have you learned anything new that you can share with me?
Oh, definitely one. I have one experience, or I can call a moment. Actually, I was watching your video with another English tutor. I think she's from Assam. So while I was watching video, the way you both having conversation, it draws my attention on accent. Like it's naturally from wherever we belong, the accent will affect on that. Like if we are in Gujarat, Gujarati accent will affect on our language. Or same way in other part of anywhere of a country or land. So I realized that thing that that the particular that video and the whole conversation, I just listened very thoroughly, and I that's make me enlightened with this thing that we have to be practiced with in such a way that we can at least we sound neutral. I
Yeah.
cannot say that we just have to reduce our accent tone because every language has their own beauty, but at least we sound in such a way that people can get or people can understand easily.
Yeah, that's true.
So that most recent thing I realized.
Okay. Yeah, that's a true thing. Like when it comes to accent, sometimes we Indians tend to have thick accent. And whenever, like earlier, when I used to, communicate with native speakers at that time, they were not able to understand what I was trying to say to them. So
Hmm.
that was the turning point of my life when I started shifting my focus towards accent because
Yes.
like having accent, it plays a crucial role in communication skills. So while dealing with native speakers, you should be having a neutral accent. So you don't have to repeat the sentences over and over.
Yes, definitely.
And what are the new ways that you have incorporated in your life, like new ways of speaking in English after,
Mm.
taking my classes?
New ways to okay. I started to like more think in English in my routines, and whenever I got the chance to speak with people who can at least who easily understand and who can make a conversation in English, I always go with the English language with those people. So my practice like it's continued my practice or it's add on the practice.
Okay, all right. Uh, what is the meaning of spill the beans? Have we discussed that? Spill the beans in this?
Yes, we discussed that. Spill the beans to reveal the secret.
Okay. And when was the last time you spilled the beans?
Spill the beans. Okay, let me think about it. Yeah, when just a few days ago, I was talking with one of my friend, and I just spilled the beans about my future study plans, and I just share with her.
Okay, all right. Uh, if I may ask you, there was this question that I had forgotten. Uh, all right, is there anything that you want to ask to me?
Yeah, I would like to enlighten with if any new idioms that we still don't cover in our sessions.
Okay, there is like in Hindi, we call it as ek tir se do nishan. So, do you know what do we call
Okay.
it in English?
English, I'm not sure, but hitting two birds with one stone.
Yeah, to hit two birds with one stone.
Okay.
So, can you create a sentence using that to hit two birds with one stone?
Mm, okay. Reading book in English, it's for me hitting two birds in one stone because
Stone.
by reading in English, it improve my English and I have a knowledge of that subject also.
Okay, all right. The next idiom that we can cover is walking on eggshells. Walking on eggshells. To walk on eggshells. That means to be very careful. To walk on
To be
eggshells.
very
To be very careful.
okay.
So while doing a podcast, I always try to walk on eggshells because sometimes the questions might be irrelevant. So I always have to walk
Hmm.
on eggshells while recording a podcast.
Okay. Yeah, sure. We have to be careful while making anything on when which goes on online media or online platform.
Yeah. And additionally, I would like to ask you, what is the meaning of in a pickle?
Okay, in a pickle means someone who is in a difficult situation and it's make more difficult to them.
Okay. Can you provide one example of it?
Okay, in a pickle. Mm, yes. My friend called me and tell me that I am in a pickle. Otherwise I join the trip that we planned.
Okay. What's your take on the importance of English in today's society?
My take on importance on English today's society.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, it's good to having a knowledge of any language because it's connect to you with surroundings and like now it's era of what we call digital world, so you can easily connect with it no matter where you belongs or from where you comes. But if you just know one language, then you can connect a multiple what we call multiple countries or even a continent. So having a knowledge of one language that makes that allows you to connect the people more.
Okay. How do you define success? What is your definition of success?
For me, success is if I use another word for success, that means progress. If you are learning something, you are doing something on your everyday basis, then it's your success, because success can't happen in a night, according to my point of view. That you can get a success just by night, but just you start to progress step by step, a little bit every day, that's lead you toward the grand success. So progress, for me, it's a success.
Definitely. Okay. What do you like to consume when you are starving?
When am starving, I would like to consume dry fruits, because by having dry fruits or consuming dry fruits and peanuts, roasted peanuts, so you easily feel heavy just by having a few quantity.
Okay. And at what time do you hit the hay?
Mostly around or in between 10 to 11.
Okay. So, in context of sleeping, a lot of times we see that youngsters find it very cool to stay late up, like late till night, till midnight.
Hmm,
This
hmm,
is trend nowadays that they like to, stay awake till 3 to 4 a.m. without any
hmm,
reason. They like to binge watch and
hmm,
do all
hmm.
those futile things. So, what advice would you like to give to those youngsters?
Hmm. I know it's now like it's very common to awake still till very long or late night. But anyhow, we realize that we people, what human tendency on that, something that can't hit or can't have adverse effect on our health, especially till that we can't take it seriously.
Hmm.
Once we lose it, we gonna miss it, and then we, oh my god, I hope I understood very early, then it's not affect my bad health. So it's not a of course it's not a good habit to awake late night, because that's disturb your circadian rhythms, your hormones, and everything, and eventually it leads toward the bad health or ill health, and its impact everything. It's not just about few things, but if we see in a scientific concept or in a scientific way, then it's to be awake a late night, it's again disturb your metabolic and digestion system. So everything will help you to develop ill health or any kind of disease. And yeah, one more thing that I would like to add on that, being awake late or having excess use of screen or a mobile, so eventually it also lead toward the some problem like anxiety, stress also, because we are just used to with these things. And nowadays, you know that there is a concept of a 30-second reels, a very short duration reel that will hit you easily your dopamine, that spike your dopamine. But eventually, you just habituated with this thing, and it's not a good habit to secrete the dopamine just by having a 30-second reels and everything. And later on, that make you anxious. We just, if we have to try for this thing, that how it affect our mental status and our body, we just have to be with we can go with one experiment. Just try to away at least for 5 to 6 hours in a day, and observe what you feel by having like you are stay away from your screen, mobile screen, or any social media platform. Just stay away for 6 to 5 to 6 hours, and at the end of the night, observe how you feel by staying away. Initially you feel anxious, or maybe you feel like you get irritated if someone asks you or someone told you, you just, if, how are you, then how are you feeling by having this. Initially it's happened that you called that I just starving for my screen. Sometimes it happens. So to understand the things, we have to experiment first our own self, that's realize us, that makes us realize that how it adversely impact on our mental state, our body, everything, because our eyes also get affected having a screen for too long.
And in the light of what you are saying, like as you mentioned about dopamine, I read it somewhere that the more you try to, get attached to the things from where you get this dopamine. The more you get habituated with it, and the more you try to crave for it. Like as you said that initially one starts scrolling the screen. So let's assume that
Hmm.
that person scrolls the screen for 15 minutes. Now
Hmm.
after that he would be craving for 30 minutes. Is it true? And after
Yes.
that it's gonna rise to 45 minutes.
Eventually, it's lead let me give you an example. If someone start to substance use like smoking and drinking, it's like a habit. It's convert in habit later on. We even don't know without our realization. Earlier, we taking a very small shot or small take of it, and later on we have need a large small or take on that. The same way happen with screen timing and scrolling the screen or scrolling that all the reels and everything, because now you don't get that much amount of pleasure and enjoy whatever earlier you are getting for that particular person. Later on you need a large one or you need a long span of time for that.
Okay. And before we conclude our session or our podcast, what is something that fascinates you about the subject of psychology?
Fascinate about me subject of psychology. So for me, I always curious about since a childhood. I always curious about to learn and understand the human mind, human tendency, and our emotions, how it works. We know we become angry, sometimes we become happy. So I always curious about to learn this thing, how it happens to us, how it impact. And this is the thing that lead me toward eventually in the field of psychology. So this is the core take on that. That I want to learn and understand about the human mind, behavior, and the tendencies.
All right. And what advice would you like to give to the people who are planning to learn English?
Okay, definitely. Whoever in planning to learn in English, there is one my personal philosophy of D root. I think D3, like determination, dedication, and discipline. By having these three things, we can hit any of field or subject, because once you determine, you decide, and with the discipline and determination you can hit. And for English, as you advise me that start to watch in English movie that will help you to accent and how to use the words and sentence, how to format formally and informally. Start to watch in English, and as you advise me to listen in English, whatever you like, start to listen, watch, listen, and start to think. Most important, start to think. Maybe it difficult if you don't have a English environment around you to at that time, especially to learn the English, to start to self talk, mirror talk you can use, or start to think in English, because for that practice you don't need anyone in front of you. You can do by yourself. So this is the thing that will enhance your skill, and you can start with this thing.
All right. Well, thank you, Swetaji, for sharing your valuable insights with me and my viewers. And I hope that this conversation would be useful and helpful for a lot of people. So, on that note, I won't hold you any longer. It was really nice having a conversation with you.
Okay, thank you, sir.